Hi, I'm Misty Terrell, and I am a certified natural health practitioner and a Loomis digestive health specialist. And I'm here today with Dr. Carrie Howerton, who will be on in a little bit. And our topic today is school lunches, how to pack healthy school lunches. So the first thing I want to tell you is if you don't have a pen and paper, press pause and go get one. The second thing I want you to really lock in your brain is never sacrifice health for convenience. In other words, I know it's more convenient just to send $2 than to pack your kids' lunch and let them buy lunch at school. But don't do it. In the long run, you will be so pleased with the results that you'll see how healthier your kids are, especially through the flu season. Preventive care is best dealt with through nutrition. That is the best. And we've already learned even the flu vaccines don't always get the right strains. The best prevention is through proper nutrition. So that's what we're addressing today. So a time saver tip, let's just go over a few tips here. Time saver tip is if you want and are able to buy things already in individual packets, so that it saves time on, for instance, slicing apples. I love to buy some already sliced organic apples from Costco. Little tips like that might help save time if that's a priority to you. Now, for some people, they just want to save money. So it would be cheaper for you to buy a whole apple and just slice it yourself. And also to save money, use recyclable containers or even have your kids bring home their Ziploc bags and wash them by hand in soapy water and reuse them. We've done that for many, many years now. The other thing I want to tell you, you really need to invest in a good lunch bag. This is an example. This is my daughter's lunch bag. But what I love about it is that inside the material is the ice pack, so I don't have to pack ice packs in the bag. It's actually in the material in between, and so I just stick this whole bag in the freezer and it will stay cold. I think it says up to 10 hours, and so I love that I don't have to add any ice packs inside her lunch bag. The other thing that you really need to invest in is a good water bottle. For years and years, we've used glass water bottles until I discovered quite quickly it didn't matter if there was a cute little cover outside the glass. You can get these in glass. My kids were still dropping them and breaking them all the time, and so after probably the 5th glass water bottle, I decided I'm done, and I switched to a BPA-free plastic. So this one is actually a plastic inside there. I got these at Target. They're great. They don't leak, and they've worked really, really well for us. So you definitely need to get a good lunch bag and a good water bottle that's reusable. So when you're packing school lunch, I kind of put it in compartmentalized in my brain, if that makes sense. I always think they need a protein, they need a vegetable, a complex carb, and an occasional treat. Okay, so let's just start with proteins. What kind of proteins? Here's some ideas. One idea is just boiled eggs with Himalayan sea salt. If your kid likes boiled eggs, this is a great, easy way to get some protein in their lunch bag. You could also make an egg salad with an avocado oil-based mayo, or even use Feuillet, the strained Greek yogurt that I talk about a lot. Use that as your base and make a delicious egg salad, and that could be something that they could have. You could, of course, do the same base for a chicken or tuna salad. I am not a proponent of anything that comes in a can when it comes to our meat. So I personally would buy fresh chicken or fresh tuna and then cook it and dice it up myself. The other idea for you is some kind of a wrap. Now, when it comes to wraps, your wrap can be one of 3 things. It could be like a sliced piece of deli meat that's preservative free. So Hormel turkey, oven roasted turkey, that's our favorite. It's sliced, but that could actually be my wrap. And then you could put the goodies inside and then roll the meat up, put a little toothpick in, and it's good. Another idea is just a large leaf lettuce. that you could use as your wrap. And the third idea, which I wouldn't do very much of, but every now and then would be fine, is some kind of a tortilla. The one that I recommend, they have some gluten-free ones, but I don't think they roll very well. So we like to use a raw tortilla that's very clean. It does have wheat, but and in fact, that's probably one of the only wheat items that my kids have on occasion are the raw tortillas. They're called, the brand is called Tortilla Land. You can find it at Costco. Hy-Vee carries it, but we will fill those up with goodies and roll it up, and my kids love the wraps. So what do you put in your wrap? That's always another question. What exactly do you put inside of it? Well, the sky's the limit, okay? So some things that my family uses is we get organic Applegate pepperoni or organic Applegate turkey pepperoni with the deli Hormel turkey, and you can put shredded carrots and spinach in there and some kind of a dressing or condiment like mustard, or you can make homemade honey mustard, which I've made a million times with raw honey and mustard, and just drizzle that in there. You could add other vegetables like red onion, a little bit of cheese. We love organic Valley mozzarella cheese that we'll use. So that's a good meat wrap. You could also put any of your egg salads or your chicken or tuna salad in there. You could do that. My daughter loves a good cold pizza wrap, so I'll get organic marinara and just put a couple teaspoons and spread it around, and then her organic pepperonis. She doesn't like cheese, which is fine with me, and we just roll it up, and she loves that. So there's a couple ideas for you. What I love about wraps is typically you can get 2 categories and sometimes even 3 all in one item. So you get your protein, you get your vegetables, and even sometimes your complex carbs all in one thing. So it's really great. Occasionally my kids will have a leftover quinoa salad that we've made the night before. So, you know, there's so many things you could do when it comes to wraps. The other thing that you might want to consider is just a cold pasta salad. Of course, I never promote wheat pasta, but you could get brown rice pasta and just get on allrecipes.com or Pinterest and look up pasta salad recipes, because many times they'll have vegetables in there. They'll have a really quick, easy homemade dressing that you can drizzle in. A basil pesto would be absolutely delicious with some organic turkey pepperoni. So there's lots that you can do with those. Of course, just a good old-fashioned garden salad would always be a good idea. For sandwiches, we don't do sandwiches every day because of the bread. But when we do use bread, I buy Rudy's sourdough, and I don't want to get into the biochemistry of sourdough bread and the gut and all of that today. But sourdough is shown clinically to be easier to digest than other types of breads, and Rudy's, of course, is an organic version, and so that is what my family chooses, and we love it. So they'll do an almond butter sandwich with organic jam or raw honey. Sometimes I'll even put sliced bananas inside of it, and they love that with a little sprinkle of cinnamon. It's delicious. But you could also do your turkey and your pepperoni and your spinach and get some vegetables in there and some organic mozzarella. So there's a lot you can do with that. You could do your egg salad, your tuna salad, your chicken salads in that as well. A cold taco salad is kind of fun. So if you do some organic blue corn tortilla chips with a little container of your taco meat and have a container of the cheese and some spinach or some lettuce in there, and then they can just assemble it at lunch themselves. Kids really seem to like that. My son absolutely loves that when I do that. When it comes to some side dishes, again, you could do a protein with a little bit of a pasta salad on the side. You could do the quinoa on the side. If you want to do chips, there are healthier versions of even chips. So there's a brand called Luke's Organics that I absolutely love. I order on Amazon Prime. My kids love all of their chips. But you could, if you don't want to go to that extreme, you could just get Kettle, which are potato-based. But all of the Kettle chips are pretty much, I don't think of any of them having too many chemicals in them, especially if you just go with just a of original potato chip, you'll do pretty well with that. Of course, there's the veggie straws, which again, you have to understand these aren't things I necessarily recommend as being healthy, but being a better version of the alternative. Okay, so keep that in mind with the chips. Gluten-free pretzels is another idea that you could do. Lay's Simply, there's a whole line called Lay's Simply. Some of them are pretty much almost all organic, like maybe 90% organic. So check out that Lay's Simply line. It's the Simply meaning they've gotten rid of all of the chemicals. Nuts and seeds, always a great thing to pack. So some raw almonds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Just have your kids get involved when you choose those. I love making homemade granola and packing that in my kids' lunches, or sometimes they'll have it as cereal for breakfast. I always think that's great. And then, of course, dips. A lot of kids love dips. So if you can find some really healthy alternative dips for them and stick that in there with their sliced, peppers, red bell peppers and green bell peppers and carrots and celery, all of those, they'll be more prone to eat it if they have a dip. So Costco has individual hummus and individual guacamoles that you can buy that are organic. You could make your own. You could do like an organic ranch in a side. You could do salsa. So think outside the box of that. And if they like a dip, provide that for them so that they'll eat those veggies during the day. We, of course, love a good yogurt in our lunches. So my kids get yogurt pretty much every single day. My particular favorite, because my kids love it, is just from Trader Joe's. They have the organic yogurt sticks that are really affordable, and my kids, that's just their favorite brand, but I'm sure there's many, many others that you could choose from. For treats, typically I steer away from, of course, all of the heavily processed foods, but I have been known to occasionally pack. My daughter loves Glutino Oreo cookies, so occasionally she'll get some of those. But I try to steer away from that as much as possible. But my kids do love fruit, so I'll put plenty of fruit in there, and it's sweet. We don't have to give them a processed treat. But they love their fruit. Sometimes, especially my daughter, loves organic chocolate. So there's a brand called Lily's Chocolate that we get, and if it's a bar, I'll just break off one little section of the bar and stick that in her lunch. She loves that. Any homemade treats that you can have, that is always the best. If you're wanting to make even homemade chocolate chip cookies, but if they're organic and you're using gluten-free flours, really, it's just really a lot better for them. That is pretty much the main areas that I can think of. Now, let's say your kids really want to buy school lunch. So how do you handle that? We are blessed because our lunch lady is also our neighbor, and she is so conscientious of what she eats personally, which makes her very conscientious of what she feeds our kids. And we are so blessed to have her as our lunch lady because she does make things from scratch. You're not going to get that in the bigger school districts, but we're very rural out here. So for me, it was just a simple message to her on Facebook and just said, hey, any school lunches that you think my kids could handle? And she messaged me back and said that there is one that I'd specifically asked about. She said it has all kinds of fillers in it and soy flour. But she said the other one you asked about looks really good. It was the hamburger. And she said there's no fillers in the meat, and we could just serve it without bread, or he could just take the bread off. And that's exactly what we did, because she served fresh fruit with it. They did baked chips with it, and so I was super happy with the other things that were provided alongside the hamburger. So you may just need to reach out to your staff at school and say, hey, I would like to see an ingredients list. My kids are on special dietary needs, and we would like to see if there's any lunches that they could have through the month. So that's what we do. For snacks, Dr. Carey will probably go over snacks a lot more. My favorite after-school snack for my son, he loves an isogenic smoothie shake right after school. His favorite is the strawberry cream, and it's just so easy that really is convenient. But my kids actually have a drawer in the refrigerator full of approved snacks that they are able to get to anytime they want. So it's at their level, so they can reach it, and it's got organic mozzarella cheese sticks, tons of different fruits in there, some yogurts, organic applesauce is in there. So I would highly suggest, if you haven't done that, doing that ASAP, because it is a lifesaver. I never have to manage that. They just know that after school they can just go to the fridge and get whatever they want out of their snack drawer. So that has worked out really well for us. The only time I limit it is if we're getting too close to dinner and I tell them no more snacks because it's getting too close to dinner time. So I think that is probably it. If you have questions, you can comment below. We'll try to answer it as much as we can. And Dr. Dave and Dr. Carrie and myself are working on something that will hopefully help you get access to us 24/7, really. So we're excited to work on that and fine-tune it, and then announce that exciting venue for you. But other than that, hope you have a happy, healthy school year. If you want to meet with me about how to prevent flu and sickness and want to go a little bit deeper with your health, feel free to call Aptos Chiropractic at 816-461-5113, and I would love to meet with you. Have a great day.
All right. Well, thanks, Misty, for that. That was very informative. I love that. So I'm Dr. Carrie. Today we're going to talk a little bit about lunches. I get so many texts and messages, or my neighbors like, what do I feed my kids for lunch? I want to be healthy, but all I can find is fruit snacks and Gatorade and crackers. So we're just going to go through a quick menu. If you look through here, I try to keep it gluten-free because I know there's a lot of allergies out there right now. I just think it's a little bit, there is a lot of options out there. So if we can get away from the wheat and just have more whole foods and quality foods, much better. So I'm going to jump right into it. And you can do this any day of the week, doesn't matter, except for Taco Tuesday. You want to do that on Tuesday, right? You guys know all about Taco Tuesday. Anyway, so the first one we're going to start with is some sliced deli meat with some cashews, chia, flaxseed crackers. You can usually get those at Costco. The deli meat that I like to get is at Aldi. They have, it's called Never Any, I think is what it's called. So it doesn't have any added nitrates or hormones or anything like that. So it's basically organic, and I really like it. It's pretty good. And you can get all different flavors, so maybe one kid likes one thing, you can kind of mix it up a little bit. And then you got your crackers and then your cheese slices. So it's really just a healthier version of meat and cheese and crackers that you would have like on a Super Bowl Sunday. But they can have it in their lunches. And then the cashews, because I want to add in some really good fats. That's really important, especially in these brains that are molding and developing. Got a lot of neural connections going on in there. So if we have some good healthy fats, it's going to be really healthy for them long term. Next one we have is chicken on a stick. So what I think is super fun about this is maybe the night before you guys grilled out and you had chicken on the grill, or maybe you had it in the oven. Well, now you have leftover chicken. So go ahead, just cut it into nice little squares and stick it on a little skewer. Like, kids will think it's so cute. Now if you have a kid who's going to poke somebody's eyeball out, maybe not such a good idea. But you get the idea, right? And then I threw in, it's kind of like a Buffalo Wild Wings day. So you have your celery with your yogurt dip and some grapes. You can do a Greek yogurt dip. There's plenty of recipes on Pinterest, of course, that you can do the Greek yogurt instead of the ranch. The ranch is going to have a lot of added ingredients that we don't want, especially high fructose corn syrup. I'll put a little highlight on that one. And then sweet potato chips or fries. These are the bomb. You can make them and like you can just slice them up if you have a nice little slicer, and then throw them in the oven with some coconut oil on them with a little bit of salt. They're really good. Or you can do them as fries. If kids are more prone to actually do the fries, you can do them that way. If you can't really get the recipe right, just play with it a little. You can also, I've tried where I've actually fried them in coconut oil on the stove, and they're a little bit more crispy that way. The next thing is really fun, is an egg salad. You can just get some eggs, chop them up, and then squish. I recommend doing like an avocado mayo or maybe like a Greek yogurt mayo instead of the regular mayo or the Miracle Whip. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Miracle Whip, but if you look through the ingredient list, you probably don't want that in your kid's body. And then sunflower seeds. Once again, we're going to throw in a nice healthy nut or seed, such as this, with some good omegas in it. It's going to really last them through the day. And this is the biggest point is, if you notice, pretty much all these have protein in it. Very little carbohydrates, but some good fruits and vegetables as well. We don't want our kids going roller coastering up and down. We want them to stay nice and even and steady. I had a girl the other day that we did a consult with. Her son had a Mountain Dew or a Coke at lunchtime. So when he got to math class, which he really likes, he literally cannot sit still. So we don't want our kids doing that. We want them to be nice and balanced. And then some veggie straws. Veggie straws, make sure you look at the ingredients if you do have a gluten intolerance, but for the most part, they're gluten-free. And then some apple slices. The best thing for, and plus with them coming in season now that it's about fall time and it's going to be harvesting, put some peanut butter, or most schools are all no peanut butter allowed, so use some almond butter. Or what I love to do is I sprinkle cinnamon on them. And then the kids don't realize that they're brown, so you know how you slice them and sometimes they're brown by the end of the day? This way you're hiding the brown and they're super sweet and they're really, really good. Cinnamon's really good for balancing out that blood sugar too. Pretty cool stuff. Taco Tuesday, just as it sounds. You guys, maybe you did taco night the night before or during the week sometime, you have leftovers. So throw a little taco meat in a little container with some shredded cheese, and then you can find grain-free wraps pretty much anywhere. And then they can make their own little tacos. If they like Greek yogurt on their taco instead of sour cream, you can do that as well. And then just some oranges. You know, the little cuties, or some nice diced up oranges. It's always good too. And then we have a free day. So this is kind of where you get the kids involved a little bit. Say, okay, my son's name is Quentin. Quentin, what did you like this week that we had for lunch or for dinner? Do you want to like make your own lunch? So then I'm going to have like a few different cups, and I'm going to have him put in a protein, and then I'll have him put in like a seed that he likes. He loves cashews, so he probably will put cashews in there. And then maybe he would obviously want veggie straws and probably peanut butter with apples. So just make it fun. Maybe you bring them lunch. Maybe you say, hey, you know, I don't have to work during this time period at work. I'm going to go meet them for lunch, and bring them something special. Stop at Chipotle and bring them lunch at school. Kids like that. Well, unless it's like high school age, maybe they wouldn't so much. But maybe you can meet them then. They can drive off for lunch with you. All right, so obviously you're going to have to tailor this to your own child's needs and wants and really make it specific. But I mean, you can alter these as you like. There's different fruits and vegetables, obviously. You don't have to go verbatim by what I've done here. And sometimes certain things are on sale, so go ahead and do that. What I'm saying is just skip the sale Pop-Tarts, skip the sale fruit snacks and the Cheez-Its and all that stuff. They just don't need it, and we can do way better as moms or dads. So some treats that I threw up here, because I've done a couple consults where their snacks were technically treats. So they were having, their snack was ice cream or graham crackers or something with a lot of sugar in it. And we don't really want to do that. Whoa. So treats, I have trail mix. There's plenty of trail mixes out there. You can have your kid pick out the trail mix. The only issue with that is my son always picks out the trail mix with the M&Ms in it. And guess what they do? They eat all the M&Ms. So they're normal kids too. They love it. I mean, it's great. It stimulates their brain, so that's what they go for. Power balls. They are perfect. Like for me, when I have a sweet tooth, they really cover that sweet tooth because they got some honey in there, some little mini chocolate chips. But those are great, and we'll probably do a little bit more on breakfast. But you're on the go, you need something, grab a couple of the Power Balls and head out the door. I put Dove on there, so like Dove dark chocolate, those are a good option. They have ones that have actual little almond crumbles in it, so yeah, you can still have a little bit of sweetness, but it doesn't have to be excessive. And then the last thing, H2O for the soul, because I see a lot of parents, and I see you guys, I see you in the grocery store lines, and you got your Capri Suns, and you got your orange juices, and you got little juice packs that say less sugar or whatever. You know what? Save that money. Put it towards something else. Put it towards a nice, you know, heck, you could probably do a weekend getaway with all the money that you're spending on those sugary drinks. Just stick to water. If your kid is so objected to water, throw some fruit in it and they have a little snack. But really, once kids really get a taste for water, that's all they want. My son he's almost 2 and he drinks nothing but water. We've, you know, been out to dinner, and my other son will have apple juice, of course, and he'll take a drink of it and he'll have like the bitter sour face. He won't even drink it. So I'm proud that we at least have one on board. But so that is pretty much it for the school lunches. Like I said, just manipulate them a little bit as you seem fit for your family. And when it comes to shopping, sometimes maybe you're going to have grapes all week. Sometimes maybe you're going to have apples all week. It all just depends. But feel free to mess with it, and you can email me or Misty or Dave or whoever, and we can send this to you, or we can send you some other links on recipes for, say, the yogurt dip and stuff like that, and of course the Powerballs. So, Dr. Carrie, let me know if you need anything.